Hello and welcome back to TOP Review 95, the show where we dive into real-life experiences with mobility aids, share honest reviews, and help you or your loved ones make informed choices when it comes to getting around more comfortably, safely, and independently. Today, we're taking a close look at a product that's become a staple in homes, rehab centers, and hospitals alike. The Medline comfortable folding wheelchair with swing-back, desk-length arms, and elevating footrests, specifically the 18-inch wide by 16-inch deep seat model. Now, I'll say this right off the bat. I've spent some time using and handling this wheelchair myself, both for personal caregiving and short-term recovery purposes. So what you're going to hear today isn't just a spec sheet or marketing pitch. It's what I've gathered from my own experience and feedback from others who spent hours, days, and even months using it. Let's start with comfort, because honestly, that's what most people care about first. The 18-inch seat width hits a sweet spot for a lot of folks. It's not too narrow for average adult use, and not too wide that it feels bulky in smaller spaces. The seat is firm, but not harsh, and while I do recommend adding a cushion for longer sits, out of the box, it's reasonably supportive. The elevating footrests are also a major plus. Whether you're recovering from surgery, managing circulation issues, or just want to stretch out a bit, having the option to raise your legs is something you don't realize you need until you do. And the mechanism for adjusting them, pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. Maneuverability indoors is another strong point. The Medline chair turns nicely, glides well over smooth flooring, and fits through standard interior doorways with no problem. Even making tight corners around furniture or in bathrooms didn't feel like a chore. For caregivers, or if you're self-propelling in limited spaces, that's a big deal. Folding and transport are where the design shows its practical side. It folds down neatly, and once the footrests are removed or swung away, it becomes compact enough to store in a closet or place in a car trunk. That said, here's where I'll be honest. The chair is on the heavier side. If you're a caregiver loading it in and out of a car regularly, especially alone, you'll definitely feel the weight. It's not impossible, but it's not feather light either. And for some, especially older caregivers or users with limited upper body strength, that could be a challenge. One thing that surprised me in both a good and a kind of way was the build. This thing feels solid. The steel frame with the hammertone finish doesn't just look rugged, it actually is. It feels like something built to last, not a lightweight plastic frame that'll creak after a few weeks. That industrial, hospital-grade look might not be winning any beauty contests, but when it comes to function and safety, I appreciated the heft and durability. I didn't worry about tipping or instability, even during transfers. Now, about those swing-back desk-length arms. These are a highlight. They're perfect for getting closer to tables or desks without having to reposition the chair too much, and they flip back easily to allow side transfers from beds or other seats. I found this especially useful when helping someone into the chair from a lower surface. It made the process smoother and a lot less awkward. That said, not everything is perfect. One thing that kept coming up, and I noticed this too, is that the footrests, while functional, don't always feel as secure as they should. In a few cases, they had a tendency to swing or shift slightly when not locked in properly. It's not a deal breaker, but something you definitely want to double check before moving. The footrest installation was also a little unclear. The manual could use a rewrite, frankly. Once you figure it out, it's easy, but the learning curve shouldn't be that steep for a basic component. For taller users, say over 6 feet, you might find the seat depth or footrest placement less than ideal. I've heard a few comments about the seat feeling a bit short or the arm height being awkward. It's something to consider if the chair is intended for long-term, daily use. And speaking of long-term use, while the breathable nylon material helps with airflow, extended sitting can become uncomfortable without some kind of cushion or padding. In terms of everyday use, I found the chair to be well-suited for indoor movement, getting around the house, doctor's visits, or short outings. Maintenance is minimal. I haven't run into any major mechanical issues, although after a few months of use, you may notice minor loosening of parts or a bit of wear on the tires or armrests. Nothing unusual, just the kind of upkeep you'd expect with regular use. So what's the final verdict? I'd say this wheelchair strikes a really good balance between function, durability, and basic comfort. It's clearly designed with thoughtful features: the swing-back arms, elevating footrests, decent turning radius, and while it's not the lightest or most high-tech wheelchair out there, it does what it promises, and it does it well. Would I recommend it for someone needing a full-time, daily wheelchair for many hours a day? Maybe, but only if they add some customization, like a better seat cushion, and don't need to load it into a vehicle frequently. For rehab, temporary recovery, indoor daily use, or as a reliable second chair, absolutely. It's built to last, comfortable with a few tweaks, and offers the kind of mobility support that gives peace of mind. So, if you're in the market for a folding wheelchair that prioritizes safety, functionality, and a sturdy feel, the Medline Comfortable Folding Wheelchair deserves a serious look. That's it for today's episode. If you've got questions or want to hear reviews of other mobility devices, send them in. I'll be back next week with another deep dive. Until then, stay mobile, stay safe, and take care of yourself.